Ladies and gentlemen, you were created for a purpose. Every manufacturer designs a product with a specific purpose in mind. Before a car is built, its function is already decided. It is meant to transport people from one place to another. In the same way, before you were born, God designed you with a purpose. Your existence is not an accident. You were created with a divine assignment. But here's the problem. Many people spend their lives chasing things that were never meant for them. They follow careers, relationships, and lifestyles that do not align with their God-given calling. That is why frustration and emptiness exist. You can only walk boldly when you know why you were created. Purpose gives birth to confidence. Boldness comes from understanding who you are. Fear paralyzes, but knowledge empowers. When you understand that God designed you with a purpose, you walk differently. You speak differently. You make decisions differently. You do not allow fear, doubt, or the opinions of others to control your life. Look at the great leaders in history, whether in the Bible or in the world. The people who changed the world were those who believed in their assignment and refused to let obstacles stop them. The boldest people are those who know their purpose. If you don't know why you are here, you will live by fear. But when you know your purpose, you will live by faith, overcoming challenges on the path to purpose. The moment you decide to walk in God's purpose, expect resistance. Challenges, failures, and discouragements will come. But understand this: every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Moses doubted his ability to lead. Gideon felt too small. Jeremiah thought he was too young. But God reminded them all, it is not about your ability, it is about His purpose in you. When God gives you an assignment, He equips you. Do not let your circumstances, education, or background stop you. What you need is already inside you. God never gives a purpose without providing the resources to fulfill it. Faith requires action. Knowing your purpose is not enough. You must act on it. Many people know what they are called to do, but never take a step. They wait for perfect conditions. But let me tell you something. There will never be a perfect time. Faith is about stepping out even when you don't see the full picture. A seed does not grow unless it is planted. You must take action. Trust God and move forward. Whether it's a vision, a business, a ministry, or a calling, start now. Do not wait for people to approve you. God already approved you when He created you. Walk boldly in your purpose and let nothing stop you. The world is waiting for what God placed inside you. There is something you carry that no one else does. There is an assignment that only you can complete. Your purpose is not for you. It is for the world. So today I challenge you. Stop walking in fear and start walking in faith. Stop doubting and start believing. God's purpose for your life is too important to be wasted. Walk boldly, walk confidently, and fulfill your divine assignment. The world is waiting for you. Every individual is born with a specific purpose, a unique assignment given by God before they ever took their first breath. Purpose is not something we invent, it is something we discover. Just as an architect designs a building with a specific function in mind, God has designed each of us with a predetermined purpose. When a person does not know why they exist, they become susceptible to confusion, frustration, and a life of endless wandering. Purpose is the foundation of fulfillment, and without it, even the greatest achievements will feel empty. Consider a manufacturer who creates a product. Before the product is released into the market, it undergoes a design process where its function is determined. The manufacturer also provides a manual to guide the user on how to operate it correctly. In the same way, God, as our Creator, has already assigned us a purpose and given us His Word as our manual. However, many people go through life without consulting their divine manual, attempting to find success and fulfillment in things that were never meant for them. This is why so many feel unfulfilled, even after achieving fame, wealth, or recognition. Purpose is the true measure of success, not material possessions or status. One of the greatest misconceptions people have is that purpose is something mysterious or difficult to find. The truth is, purpose is already inside you. It is encoded in your very being. Your talents, passions, and unique abilities are indicators of what God has called you to do. A fish does not need to be taught how to swim, and a bird does not need training to fly. These creatures instinctively function in the purpose for which they were created. In the same way, when you begin to walk in your God-given purpose, life flows naturally and your work becomes meaningful. This does not mean there will be no challenges, but there will be a sense of alignment and fulfillment that cannot be found anywhere else. Many people look for purpose in the wrong places. Some seek it in money, thinking that financial success will bring them meaning. Others seek it in relationships, hoping that another person will complete them. Still, others chase after titles, believing that recognition will give them identity. But true purpose is found only in the one who created you. The only way to fully understand what you were made for is to connect with your Creator. Just as a product's purpose is best understood by consulting its manufacturer, our purpose is best discovered by seeking God. He alone knows why He placed you on this earth and what assignment you were designed to fulfill. A common question people ask is, how do I find my purpose? The answer is simple. Look within. Pay attention to the things that stir your heart. What problems do you feel called to solve? What activities make you feel alive and passionate? These are often clues to your divine assignment. God does not hide your purpose from you. He places signs along your journey to guide you toward it. However, it requires awareness and a willingness to listen. Many people ignore their true calling because they are too distracted by societal expectations, fear, or the pressure to conform. One of the biggest barriers to discovering purpose is comparison. Too often, people measure their worth based on what others are doing. They look at someone else's success and assume they must follow the same path. But purpose is unique. No two people have the same assignment. Just as every part of the human body has a specific function, each person has a distinct role to play in the world. The eye cannot do what the hand does, and the ear cannot perform the function of the feet. When you embrace your individual purpose, you stop competing and start contributing. You no longer try to imitate others because you recognize the value of what you have been called to do. Walking in purpose also requires clarity. Without a clear sense of why you are here, life will be dictated by circumstances rather than conviction. Many people live in survival mode, moving from one obligation to another without a clear vision. But when you know your purpose, you make decisions based on destiny, not desperation. Purpose gives direction. It helps you say yes to the right opportunities and no to distractions. A person without purpose is easily swayed, but a person with a clear assignment is unwavering. Another crucial aspect of understanding purpose is recognizing that it is not just about personal success, but about serving others. Purpose is always tied to impact. The gifts and abilities God has given you are not for your benefit alone. They are meant to bless others. The greatest individuals in history were those who discovered how to use their purpose to serve the world. Whether in leadership, business, ministry, or any other field, the people who leave lasting legacies are those who use their purpose to make a difference. Understanding purpose also brings confidence. When you know why you are here, you walk with boldness. You stop seeking approval from others because you realize that your assignment is not dependent on their opinions. Fear loses its grip because you are no longer guessing your way through life. You are moving with divine intention. Purpose eliminates confusion and brings stability. Instead of living reactively, you live proactively, shaping your destiny according to God's plan. Understanding your purpose is the first step toward living a meaningful life. When you know your why, everything else falls into place. Your choices become intentional, your efforts become focused, and your life becomes a testimony of divine fulfillment. Purpose is not an option. It is the very reason for your existence. The sooner you discover it, the sooner you can begin to walk boldly in the life God designed for you. Boldness is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to move forward despite it. Many people fail to walk in their God-given purpose because they are paralyzed by fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. However, true boldness comes from understanding who you are in God. When you recognize that you were created with a divine assignment, fear loses its power over you. You no longer live according to the opinions of others or the limitations of your past. Instead, you step into your purpose with confidence, knowing that you were designed for something greater. One of the greatest obstacles to boldness is doubt. Doubt makes you question your abilities, your worth, and even God's calling on your life. It whispers, you are not qualified, you don't have what it takes, or what if you fail? But let me tell you this, God never calls the qualified, He qualifies the called. Throughout history, God has chosen ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Moses doubted his ability to speak, yet he led a nation to freedom. Gideon saw himself as the weakest in his family, yet God called him a mighty warrior. The key to their boldness was not in their personal strength, but in their trust in God's power working through them. Boldness begins with identity. If you do not know who you are, you will live in insecurity. The world will try to define you by your past, your mistakes, or your weaknesses. But when you understand that you were created in the image of God, you stop allowing temporary circumstances to dictate your worth. You are not defined by your failures. You are defined by your purpose. When you truly grasp this truth, you begin to walk with authority, no longer held back by self-doubt or fear. A major reason people lack boldness is that they seek validation from others. They wait for approval before stepping into their calling. But the truth is, if you live for people's approval, you will die from their rejection. Boldness means being willing to stand alone if necessary. It means following God's direction even when others don't understand. People may criticize you, question your decisions, or try to discourage you. But when you are secure in your purpose, their opinions will not shake you. Another key to boldness is knowledge. Fear thrives in ignorance, but confidence grows with understanding. The more you educate yourself about your purpose, the more fearless you become. A doctor is not afraid to perform surgery because he has spent years studying and practicing his craft. In the same way, when you invest time in developing your skills and deepening your knowledge of God's Word, you gain the assurance to walk in your calling without hesitation. Boldness is also cultivated through action. Many people wait to feel confident before they step out, but confidence does not come before action. It comes after it. The more you act in faith, the bolder you become. A child learning to walk stumbles many times, but with each step, they grow stronger. In the same way, the more you practice walking in your purpose, the more fearless you become. You will never discover your full potential by staying in your comfort zone. Boldness requires stepping out, taking risks, and trusting that God will guide you. A powerful tool for boldness is your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you constantly think about failure, rejection, or inadequacy, you will hesitate to pursue your purpose. But if you fill your mind with God's promises, you will develop an unstoppable mentality. Scripture is filled with reminders that you were created for greatness. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. When you meditate on these truths, fear loses its hold on you, and boldness begins to take root. Boldness is also strengthened through experience. Every time you step out in faith and see God move, your confidence grows. David was not afraid of Goliath because he had already seen God deliver him from the lion and the bear. Past victories remind you that God is with you and will continue to strengthen you. This is why it is important to remember your testimonies. When challenges come, remind yourself of the times God came through for you before. If He did it once, He will do it again. Surrounding yourself with the right people also plays a major role in developing boldness. The company you keep influences your level of confidence. If you're always around negative, fearful people, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with people of faith, vision, and courage, their boldness will inspire you to step into your purpose without hesitation. Iron sharpens iron, and being in the presence of bold individuals encourages you to rise to a higher level. Another aspect of boldness is perseverance. Walking in purpose is not a one-time decision. It is a daily commitment. There will be moments of doubt, opposition, and hardship. Boldness means pressing forward even when you feel like giving up. It is the determination to keep moving despite obstacles. Those who make an impact in the world are not the ones who never face challenges, but the ones who refuse to be stopped by them. True boldness also requires a deep relationship with God. The more you seek Him, the more confidence you will have in His plan for your life. When you spend time in prayer, worship, and studying His Word, you develop an unshakable trust in Him. You no longer walk in fear because you know He is leading you. The closer you are to God, the bolder you become. Ultimately, boldness is not something you wait for. It is something you develop. It comes from knowing your purpose, trusting in God, taking action, and refusing to be limited by fear. When you walk boldly in your calling, you inspire others to do the same. Your confidence becomes a testimony of God's power, proving that when He calls someone, He also equips them. So step out with courage, embrace your purpose, and walk in the boldness that God has already placed inside you. 4O, you said, expand the third keynote. Up to 700 words. Do not add the inner, outer, and conclusion in the paragraphic manner. ChatGPT said, overcoming obstacles. Walking in God's purpose is not without challenges. The moment you decide to pursue your divine assignment, you will encounter resistance. This resistance does not mean that you are on the wrong path. In fact, it is often proof that you are moving in the right direction. Many people assume that if something is truly God's will, it should come easily. But that is not the case. Every great assignment comes with opposition, and those who fulfill their purpose are the ones who learn how to overcome obstacles with faith and perseverance. One of the biggest obstacles people face is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of the unknown can paralyze a person and prevent them from stepping into their calling. Fear is a tool of the enemy to keep you stagnant. But the truth is that fear only has as much power as you give it. The best way to defeat fear is to move forward despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in faith even when fear is present. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When you remind yourself of this truth, fear loses its grip on you. Another obstacle that many people struggle with is self-doubt. They question whether they are capable, qualified, or worthy of their calling. The problem with self-doubt is that it shifts the focus away from God and places it on personal ability. The truth is, no one is fully qualified for their purpose in their own strength. God does not call people based on their qualifications. He equips those whom he calls. Moses doubted his ability to lead because he was not a good speaker, but God assured him that he would provide everything he needed. Gideon saw himself as weak, but God called him a mighty warrior. When God gives you an assignment, he also gives you the grace to fulfill it. Your confidence should not be in yourself, but in the one who sent you. Past failures can also become an obstacle to walking in purpose. Many people allow their past mistakes to define them. They believe that because they failed before, they are disqualified from fulfilling God's plan. However, failure is not the end. It is a lesson. Some of the greatest leaders in history failed multiple times before achieving success. The key is to learn from your failures and keep moving forward. God specializes in using broken people for great purposes. The Bible is filled with stories of people who failed but were still used mightily. Peter denied Jesus, yet he became a foundational leader in the early church. Paul persecuted Christians, yet he became one of the greatest apostles. Your past does not disqualify you. Another common obstacle is opposition from others. The moment you decide to step into your purpose, you will face criticism. Some people will not understand your vision. Others may try to discourage you or even attack you. This is because not everyone is meant to see what God has placed inside you. When Joseph shared his dream with his brothers, they became jealous and sold him into slavery. But their opposition did not stop God's plan for his life. In fact, their actions were part of the process that led Joseph to his destiny. When people oppose you, do not allow their words to shake you. Stay focused on what God has called you to do, and remember that no one can stop what God has ordained for your life. Another major challenge people face is the temptation to give up. The journey to fulfilling purpose is not always easy. There will be moments of discouragement, moments when things do not go as planned, and moments when you feel like quitting. But quitting is never the solution. Every great person in history has faced difficulties. But what made them successful was their determination to keep going. The process may be painful, but the reward is worth it. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started in the first place. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. And most importantly, stay connected to God through prayer and His Word. Distractions can also be a major obstacle. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Sometimes things that look good can pull you away from your true assignment. Many people lose focus because they get caught up in things that are not part of their purpose. It is important to stay aligned with what God has called you to do. Just because something is popular or profitable does not mean it is for you. Learn to say no to things that do not serve your purpose, and stay committed to the path God has set for you. Another challenge that people face is waiting on God's timing. Sometimes the delay can feel discouraging. You may know your purpose, but the doors do not seem to be opening yet. This can lead to frustration, impatience, and even doubt. But God's timing is always perfect. Just because something is delayed does not mean it is denied. Many people in the Bible had to wait before stepping into their destiny. David was anointed as king, but had to wait years before he took the throne. Joseph had a dream of leadership, but had to go through slavery and prison before he saw it come to pass. Waiting is not wasted time. It is preparation time. Instead of becoming frustrated, use the waiting season to grow, develop, and strengthen your faith. One final obstacle is spiritual warfare. When you are walking in purpose, the enemy will try to stop you. This can come in the form of unexpected challenges, attacks on your mind, or even discouragement. But as a child of God, you have been given authority over every attack of the enemy. Prayer, fasting, and staying rooted in God's word are powerful weapons to overcome spiritual opposition. When you stand firm in faith, no attack can derail you from God's plan. Overcoming obstacles is a necessary part of fulfilling your purpose. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the assignment ahead. The key is to never allow difficulties to stop you. If God has given you a purpose, He has also given you the strength to overcome every obstacle that comes your way. Keep moving forward, keep trusting God, and keep pressing toward your destiny. The reward for perseverance is far greater than the pain of the process. Walking boldly in God's purpose for your life requires both faith and persistence. Faith is the ability to trust in what you cannot see, believing that God has a plan, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Persistence is the determination to keep moving forward despite obstacles, delays, or opposition. Together, faith and persistence create an unstoppable force that propels you toward your divine assignment. Without faith, you will hesitate, and without persistence, you will quit. But when these two qualities work together, you will walk in your purpose with confidence and endurance. Faith begins with believing that God has a specific plan for your life. Many people struggle to step into their purpose because they are unsure if they are truly called. But God does not create anything without intention. Just as a potter shapes clay for a specific use, God has shaped you for a particular purpose. Faith is the ability to trust that you are not a mistake, that your life has meaning, and that your assignment matters. It means believing in the unseen reality of God's plan, even when you do not yet see the full picture. Faith is not passive. It requires action. Many people say they have faith, but they never take the necessary steps toward their purpose. Faith is not just believing that God will do something. It is acting on that belief. When Peter saw Jesus walking on water, he could have remained in the boat simply believing that it was possible. But true faith required him to step out. The moment he put his foot on the water, his faith became active. In the same way, if you want to walk boldly in your calling, you must be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Faith also requires patience. God does not always reveal everything at once. Sometimes He gives you only a small glimpse of your purpose, requiring you to trust Him for the next step. This is why many people struggle. They want to see the full plan before they move. But God often operates on a need-to-know basis. He gives you enough direction for today and asks you to trust Him for tomorrow. Abraham was called to leave his homeland and go to a place that God would show him. He did not have all the details, but he trusted God and obeyed. That is the essence of walking by faith. Moving forward even when you do not have all the answers. Persistence, on the other hand, is what keeps you going when things get difficult. Every great accomplishment requires endurance. Many people start strong but give up when they encounter resistance. The truth is, walking in your purpose will not always be easy. There will be times of discouragement, delays, and even failure. But those who succeed are not the ones who never face challenges. They are the ones who refuse to quit. Persistence means continuing even when results are not immediate. It means staying committed to the process even when progress seems slow.